Hey there, Watertown High School Tech Ed. This is Mr. Domer, and this is the first of a series of videos to help us begin using the remote login software called Itopia on our Chromebooks. When you have your Chromebook open, there's a couple of places you might be able to find the link for the labs.itopia.com, and that could be under bookmarks. That potentially could be on this top bar for you, somewhere in there. I'm not on a Chromebook right now, but you would likely see it there, I'm told. If you cannot find it, if you go to our watertownstem.org website, I have put a link right here for the software as well. Essentially, once you are added into a class by one of your tech ed teachers, so let's say Mr. Domer adds you in for a CAD class, when you go to this site, you will then see something like this. You may need to do a Google login to get to this page, but this is the dashboard for the Itopia software. You pick the class you're in. Maybe you see multiple dashboard classes here for multiple teachers. I'm going to go into this one. I've recently been in it, so it's kind of prepped. It may take a little bit longer for yours to spin up. So mine spun up right away because I was just in there. Yours could take a couple minutes to get into the software. So one of the things why we're doing this is we are using Chromebooks now for all of our tech ed classes, and the Chromebook is not a high-end computer for us to be doing this type of software. We know that. It's not because they're Watertown High School Chromebooks or Watertown School District. It's just a Chromebook is not designed to be doing high-end software. However, we need to use that software to run the equipment and do the training we want in these classes. So you're actually remote logging into a very high-end computer somewhere else in the United States. These are not owned by Watertown High School. We are paying for the Itopia service, which they own some massive servers somewhere in, I don't know, Texas, Las Vegas, who knows where they are. But by you logging into that high-end computer, that computer can do the need to run this software for us, and then we're just accessing that. So the huge advantage to that for us is you can do this from anywhere with your Chromebook. You don't have to be limited to a tech ed class anymore to do it during third hours CAD class, we'll say. You could be doing this in your English ELT. You could be doing this on vacation on the weekend. As long as you have access to the internet and the Chromebook, you should be able to access any of this software remotely from wherever you are. So that's a huge win for what we're doing, whereas in the past, with the towers, you had to be limited to these rooms. Now, there's going to be some quirks we have to work through, which is why I'm starting this video series for us, because it's almost like we have a computer within a computer here. So I'm now in, we can see the desktop of this remote computer that's, we'll say Texas, I have no idea, we'll keep saying Texas though. This computer somewhere in Texas, and we can have access to all of these different softwares. One of the first things we have to get used to is this tab right here, Cloud Apps Classroom, is that computer. These other tabs are your Chromebook. So we can still go to your Chromebook and Google search, engineering measurements. Who knows? We're gonna, Google something. We can go find our own Google things if we want on our Chromebook. We can pull up different web searches, whatever it might be. But this tab right here is going to be whatever we're doing on that computer. And that's going to get a little bit confusing from time to time because it's like we have tabs within tabs as we open software in here. The other thing that's going to get a little bit goofy is you're not saving on that computer in Texas. You're going to be saving to the cloud, to Google Drive specifically is what we're going to start with, so that you can access those files also from anywhere. We don't want to be saving on any hard drive somewhere on a computer because who knows if you're going to be accessing that hard drive again. So we're going to be making sure that we use Google Drive. Now, let's take a look at that for example. I'm going to do this a little bit backwards the first time. So I'm going to go into Inventor as an example and open it up. Could be pretty much any one of these programs. And once this opens up, I'm going to create a new part file, and then I'm going to show you saving. Doesn't really show me much options, which is why I'm doing this a little bit backwards so you understand why we're going to set up Google Drive in a moment. And every time you log into Itopia, you're going to have to set up Google Drive for it to find it. So we're going to just say OK here. This really doesn't matter for teaching you other than showing you the process. So we're going to go to New. I'm going to open up IPT. And right away, I'm just going to go Save As. And you'll notice I'm only on the local hard drive of that computer in Texas right now. I don't actually have access to the internet for saving or anywhere else. For the most part, I don't even think you're going to have access to your thumb drive. And now I'm pretty new to this as well, but if you pop your thumb drive into the Chromebook, that thumb drive is not in Texas. So we're at the upload, download files to really get it off the computer per se. So I'm going to leave Inventor open. So here's my Itopia tab, and here's Inventor, and I can minimize Inventor right here. And you're like, well, Domer, normally we minimize things up here, but that's going to minimize all 4 tabs. I want to minimize just Inventor. So if I do the X here, Inventor is now in this Windows bar of that computer, right? Here's my main Windows bar of the Chromebook or of the computer I'm on. So it's like I got 2 windows going because it's 2 computers. It's a computer within a computer. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do then when we go into Itopia is open up Google Drive. So it's right there on the desktop. Double-clicked it. I'm going to go ahead and sign in with my school account. So you would be use your student, not mine, obviously. All right, so that's done. I can close that window. Again, it's a little X, not one of these big ones. And it says, okay, Google Drive is loading your files. So it's creating the desktop app on this computer in Texas. And now when I go to Inventor, if everything worked well, File, Save As, drop down, there's Google Drive. So now when I go to save stuff or open stuff, I can use my Google Drive to do that. So when I click Google Drive, I'm going to go to My Drive, or maybe we have a class shared drive in here that we might be using in the future, or team shared drives for small groups. I'm going to go into My Drive, and then hopefully you've got class folders, IED, whatever it might be, and creating folders and folders. And then you can save into Google Drive. So that's kind of one of the biggest things, is going into Itopia opens up this remote computer. Opening up Google Drive is pretty much the first thing you're going to do every time. Linking so that you can then use Google Drive for saving. And depending on what software you're using, you then at that point can open or save files using Google Drive. So that's kind of the main things I wanted to go over today. If you want to then finish out your session, we can close Inventor. I got no programs open after that closes. And I can come over here to this sidebar, and I can then just return to dashboard if I'm finished. Yes, I want to exit the session. And I am out of that session. Now after, I think it's 15 minutes of idle use, it will automatically log you out of the session anyways, which could be an issue if you're in class doing some things and you hadn't saved yet. Make sure you're saving often, because this system will kind of reset itself after, again, I don't know if it's 15 minutes, but whatever the time frame is. So saving is going to be important on that process. With this should allow you to start getting into Itopia, find the class you're going into, find your files on Google Drive to save them to or upload them from, and then begin using whichever apps it is you're trying to use. There will be a couple future videos here coming up for each of some of the major apps that we plan to use, so that you can begin using the software for equipment purposes in the class. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you. Thank you.